In this video, I'm going to walk you through the bent over rear delt raise. And first thing I'm going to do is show you exactly how to do it from a technique perspective, so you're using the right muscles and really just getting the most bang for your buck for it, not going to hurt yourself, all that fun stuff. And then afterwards, if you're still interested, I'll talk about how to put it into your training programs. So how many sets and reps to do, when to do it in your training, and how much weight to do it with. So starting from the very beginning with the actual movement and technique perspective, the first thing I talk about is always to do with your knees, okay? So I always like soft knees with this, which basically just means slightly bent, okay? So to start the movement, you actually send your butt back to the wall behind you in what's called a hip hinge. Slightly bend your knees, and then you're going to have your arms hanging down in front of you like this. Then from here, you're going to keep your elbows slightly bent, not to 90 degrees, but also not completely straight out, just like slightly bent, and you're going to raise the dumbbells out to the side. Okay? This is the very basic form, and now we're going to get a little bit more advanced with it. Okay? So first and foremost, number one, the biggest mistake you'll see people making is when they come down to here, they get it up by jerking up the weight. So if I put some weight in my hand, you'll see a lot of people doing this with it, using the momentum from their lower body to get the weight up. No good. That takes the stress away from the rear delts, the back of your shoulders, and it just pretty much uses momentum, so you're not actually training the muscle, you're just getting the weight up for the sake of getting the weight up. No good. When you're here, you want to be down here, chest almost parallel with the floor, abs tight, and use your muscles in the backs of your shoulders to bring the weight all the way up, okay? Another thing you're going to see people doing is in this position, as they come up, you're going to see them pushing their head forward. So it looks like this. They come here and they push their head forward like that, and sometimes they'll do it simultaneously with that lower body momentum. And that is another way of cheating. You're substituting range of motion with your head instead of getting it all the way from the rear delts, okay? So the whole point of this is to stay in this position, abs tight, don't let your back round over, no momentum from the legs, nothing with the forward head. You're solely getting the movement from driving through the rear delts, from the back of your shoulders. So all the movement comes from this, nothing extra, okay? Now, from a programming perspective and from how much weight to use, I keep it very light. Personally, I very rarely go above 30 pounds, and that's really if I'm trying to go heavier with this. I prefer to stay lighter, anywhere between, for me personally, 15 to 25 pounds on regularly. And I try to go for a little bit higher repetition, so anywhere from 12 all the way to 20 reps. Okay, I do it lighter weight, higher rep. It's more for not only shoulder health and function, but also muscle growth, to get more definition in your shoulders and to help grow those muscles. So I don't try and do 3s, 4s, and 5s really, really heavy. I try and go up a little bit higher repetition, lower weight, just to get that muscle growth stimulus. Because of that reason, I usually save this movement for the tail end of my upper body workouts, okay? So I'm not really gonna do this as a main strength move. I do it more towards the end of a workout as a burnout set. So usually anywhere between 2 to 4 sets of literally, it could be 8 repetitions per set if I'm going heavy, or could be all the way up to 50. I know some people go up to 100 repetitions per set, just using very, very light weight, sometimes even just body weight, okay? So that's pretty much the basics of how you do it. Just so you know, if you want to do a chest supported version, all you would do is you get an incline bench right about 45 degrees, and you'd set up so your chest is on the incline. And what I really like about that variation is it takes any possibility of momentum from the legs out of the equation, because your chest is flat against the bench, and pretty much you don't have the option of using momentum unless you physically take yourself off, okay? So I showed you the standing dumbbell rear delt raise. There are a lot of other options with it as well, as long as you focus on making sure to use the rear delts and not cheating anywhere else along the way, you're gonna be good to go. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and I'll talk to you soon.